Okay, so I have been asked a few questions about the project, getting it started, and I know that some of you are like, isn't that not even due till next week? Yeah, no problem. If you haven't started, it's not a big deal. You have plenty of time. But once you get started, you're going to probably want a hint on how to just take off on this project. So what I have here, and this is going to be a challenge, I know, because we're not together, but I have a marker, I have a ruler, and I have my paper printed. Now mine, it's not very great. So I do have a digital copy because my printer is running out of ink. But if you don't have this map, then go look at the PDF. Because what I did was I posted a PDF with 7 pages for those of you that just want to print everything. And then I also posted Word documents for those of you that want to type everything. But I didn't have a Word document of the map. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, open up that PDF and print off that last page. And it'll be a lot easier no matter how you do this project if you print off that last page, because you need this kind of stuff. What am I doing here? You need ruler and a pen to start. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from Fresno to Chicago. So right now I have nothing on it, and I'm going to do this on my paper to show you what it looks like, and then I'll do it on the computer just so you have a better view of what I'm doing. But I'm putting a dot at Fresno, putting a dot at Chicago, using my straight edge just because it makes everything easier, and I'm connecting the dots. This is not super realistic, and I did this on purpose. I guarantee everyone watching this video knows how to use Google Maps to find out how far it is from Chicago to Fresno. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for your pre-algebra skills. I want you to show me what you learned this semester. So we're drawing a straight line. Do the roads do that? No, I don't care. This isn't real. This is just kind of a fun way to show me what you know. Okay, so I have that. And then down here, again, it's really hard to see because of my printer, but I'll give you a better version digitally, is the scale. So I'm going to do my example in centimeters. Do not copy me. I am not giving you the answers. That's not the point of this video. I'm doing it in centimeters. You're going to do it in inches. And that way I know that you did it yourself. Okay, so I'm just going to darken in, is that even a word? The distance first for the map for the scale. And so I just kind of made a mark right here. Oops, where am I? Where's Florida? Right here. I'm going to measure that line. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to measure how far my distance line is and then how far my scale line is. So let me pull this up and do it again in a way that you can kind of follow along. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. You know, I've only done this 10,000 times. You think I could figure it out by now? There we go. There's my map. And I am, oops, back. I had it set to go. Yes. Okay, I'm going to draw a line, and this is what I did on my paper. I drew a line from Fresno to Chicago. And then I came down here and I just darkened it just for highlighting purposes. You don't really have to draw this second line. You just have to know what you're doing. So you'll notice I chose, extra mark. I chose kilometers because I'm doing this all in metric as an example. If I did this all in the US system with the inches and the miles, then I would literally be doing your project for you. So this is what I'm measuring. So the picture you can see is the same thing that I drew. So first, I'm going to measure that blue, that big fat blue line that you can see on my mouse from Fresno to Chicago. So I'm measuring it. I'm doing centimeters. Don't copy me. And I'm getting 14.5 centimeters. So let me write this down. 14. Uh-oh, I'm still online. Bear with me. My face is in the middle of my screen right now, so I'm having issues. Okay, I'm trying to stay here, you know, so you can see me struggle along with you. Okay, don't laugh at my face. 14.5 centimeters. And that is our map distance. And then X is going to be our real life distance. So I have, that's important. I should write that down. I have the map on top, the map distance, and then I have the real distance on the bottom. Okay, great. Love my proportion. or I love my ratio. Now I'm gonna make that's for my Fresno to Chicago leg. Now, what is my proportion for the map in general? Well, I know going down to my scale down here, I know that my blue line on the scale represents 400 real life kilometers. So now I'm going to use my ruler and I'm going to measure my scale. And I get 2 centimeters on the map corresponds to 400 real life kilometers. My trip that I'm taking is 14.5 centimeters on the map. So what is that in kilometers? Okay, I'm just gonna write on the map because who cares? So I'm gonna do my butterfly. And I don't need to worry about units anymore because they're the same on both sides. So I'm gonna end up with kilometers down here. So don't worry about units, we're just gonna look at the numbers. And so using my butterfly, I have 14.5, bye-bye Gulf of Mexico, 14.5 times 400 equals, well, this side is easy, 2 times x. Calculator, 14.5 times 400 is 5,800. Mario must have another text. Divide by 2, 5,800 divided by 2, and I'm getting that x equals 2,900 kilometers in real life. Probably actually not that far off because it's probably, it's definitely pretty far to Chicago. Yes, the freeways don't run exactly in that beautiful straight line, but basically that same idea. And so now that I know I'm writing all over my picture. Let me get rid of these butterfly wings. Now that I have this scale fraction right here, this is going to be the same for all 5. All 5 cities that you do, you're going to use that 2 centimeters over 400 kilometers. Are you? No, you're not. You're going to use inches. You're going to use the bottom one where it says 300 miles down here. You're going to measure that one because you're not copying me, right? You're doing your own. So you're going to do the miles. You're going to do it in inches. And the homework says, or the project says, when you use your ruler, round to the nearest fourth. I know it's kind of blurry, but at least you can see 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, 1 inch. So round to the nearest fourth on your ruler. And if you have to round your answers, then just round it to the nearest whole, I guess you'd be using miles, round it to the nearest whole mile. It says all this on the project. But you're going to use that fraction from that scale for all 5 cities. What's going to change is the map distance. So you're going to go, I don't know, where else do you want to go? We can go to Louisville, measure that distance. We could go to Little Rock, measure that distance. And we're going to do this for all 5 cities until we end up back at Fresno. Now, you can just see on my picture the difference between the blue line that I used a straight edge for and the green lines, which I just kind of squiggled. It's a lot harder to measure those green lines. So use your ruler, measure those distances, and then you will use that proportion. Again, not that exact proportion. I don't know, where am I on your screen? Where is it? Not that exact proportion. Use the one with inches and miles. And yeah, there you go. That'll get you through the first part. And once you get the hang of it, I think you'll really start getting it. When it talks about miles per gallon and you make your proportion, make sure you put the miles in the numerator and the gallons in the denominator, that kind of stuff. So definitely hit me up with an email if you have any questions, and make sure you don't wait till the last minute. Yay, school's almost over. We got this, couple more days, you can push through. Yay. All right, so I'm gonna go. Just let me know if you have any questions. Thanks, bye.